Once our data tables have primary and foreign keys established, we need to let Access know which fields relate to which. We can do this with the Relationships tool. You can find it in a couple of places. Usually you're going to go to the Database Tools tab and find Relationships here. If you have a table open, I'm going to go ahead and double click on this Customers table. You'll also find it under the Tables, Tools, Contextual tab and Relationships here. However, in order to modify or create relationships between tables, those tables need to be closed. So even though you can get to relationships through the Tables tab, it'll often create a situation where you can't edit it once you get there, because the original table is still open. So let's make sure our tables are all closed by clicking the Close button over here on the right side, and then going to Database Tools, Relationships. The Relationships screen is essentially a blank canvas where we can lay out a map of all of our tables and how they relate to one another. There is a new contextual tab on the top called Relationship Tools Design here. We're going to press this Show Table window to bring up a listing of all of the tables in our navigation pane. Let's go ahead and create a relationship between our customers and their credit cards. You can click on each table here and press Add, or simply double-click to add them to Relationships map. I'll double-click on Customer Credit Cards and double-click on Customers, and then add them back here to the relationships. Then I'll close the Show Table window. Now each of these boxes represents one of the tables from our database. This one is the Customer Credit Cards table. This one is the Customers table. Within each table are all of the fields, and those are listed here. We can move these around by clicking and dragging on their tops, or from the corner, we can drag and make them resized. I'm going to resize the customer so I can see all of the fields. I'll resize this one as well. And then I'm going to drag Customer Credit Cards and move it to the right side of Customers. To join these tables together, we're simply going to find the primary key in the Customers table, which is this Customer ID, and you can see the primary key icon here. And we're going to drag and drop it on top of the foreign key from the Customer Credit Cards table. That's the Customer ID field here. So I'll just click and drag, and when I get over the other Customer ID, I'll drop it. That'll bring up the Edit Relationships screen, where I can confirm the fields that I dragged and dropped. If I missed for some reason, I could just click these drop-down menus and attach it to a different field. I'm going to leave mine on Customer ID. We've got some options here. One very important option that you can get to on this screen is the Enforce Referential Integrity checkbox. When this is checked, Access won't allow you to create records in a table when the foreign keys don't match a record in the other table. In our example here, if I turn on Enforced Referential Integrity, Access won't allow me to input a credit card that isn't attached to a valid customer. It will also prevent me from deleting a customer while accidentally leaving their credit card info in the database. In other words, it prevents orphan records, records that don't relate to any parent info. This is a really great control to have on when appropriate because it ensures that your database remains reliable. When Enforced Referential Integrity is turned on, you'll notice two additional options: Cascade Update and Cascade Delete. These deal with situations when the data changes. If you change a primary key, then Cascade Update will also make the same change to the foreign keys in all related tables. I'll turn that on. With Cascade Delete, Access will delete related records when the parent is deleted. In our case, if I turn this option on, then delete a customer, Access will automatically find their credit card records and delete those as well. Both of these options make maintaining our database easy. I'll turn them both on and then press the Create button to establish the relationship. You'll notice now that these two fields are joined by a line. On the left side, the customer side, we'll see the icon with a 1. On the right side, we'll see an infinity symbol. This tells me that this is a one-to-many relationship. This is the most common kind of relationship you'll find. This says that every one customer can have many different credit cards. If a customer wants to save hundreds or thousands of different credit cards with us, no problem. We've set up our database to handle that. Let's add an additional relationship between our employees table and the related phone numbers table. Here, I can go to the Show Table window to open that again, and click Employee Phone and Employees and press Add to add those. I'll close the Show Table window, and I'll drag these fields around to line them up. So Employees and Employee Phones. I can also enlarge them to make them bigger so I can see all the fields. Now the Employee ID matches the Employee ID field here in the phone number. So I'll just drag, drop the join line. I'll enforce referential integrity to make sure that we don't accidentally remove a customer but leave their phone numbers behind. And I'll press create. Again, we get the join line between the two. Now I've got one more table that I want to join up here. That's this states table. Let me just open it up and we'll take a look at what's in here. The states table merely matches a state with regions within our company. That way, if I attach this to our customers, we can start grouping our customers together by region and not just state. It gives us more information about the states. Let's close that down, and we'll add that to our relationship map as well. Now there's a shortcut here. I can actually just take the states table and drag and drop it from my navigation pane and drop it on the relationships map. Now I just drag state from our customers table and drop it on the state abbreviation field, which is the primary key for the states table. We'll create that join, and we'll move it back over here just so it lines up properly. Before I end this movie, I want to share one common tripping point. The scroll bars on the bottom and right side of your screen indicate that the relationship map can be quite large. But sometimes if you accidentally click in one of these, everything disappears. It scrolls right off your screen. Oftentimes people will do this and they'll think that everything is deleted. But don't worry, everything is still there. You just might need to scroll all the way to the top and scroll all the way to the left. So that's how you establish relationships between tables. Anytime you create a new data table, you'll want to revisit the relationships map to tell Access how the new table integrates with all of the others.